I can't even hear if people are, if you are speaking, I should be able to hear now. Couldn't hear before. But yeah, anybody got any questions for me, you know? Because, okay, you know what we'll do, in fact? We'll actually have the topic of this Zoom. So the topic of this Zoom is people need to tell me what are they struggling with? What are their weaknesses? What do they feel they need to improve? And I'll see if I can go over any factors that might be able to help people. So I'm going to ask you, what are you guys and girls struggling with? So anybody that's out there, don't feel shy. You know, you're never going to learn anything if you don't speak up in situations when you have the opportunity to. So please just, you know, let me know. So anybody can go first and let me see what I can do for you.
Everything.
You there?
How do
You can hear me?
do-
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I can hear you.
I'm struggling with I still don't exactly understand liquidity. I kind of do, but I don't have it down whatsoever.
Okay, no problem at all. So anybody else that has got a question that they would like to ask, whatever they're struggling with, of course, after I answer this question, I'm going to ask again, so then you can be ready to go. Who was the next person that was just trying to speak now, so I can know who I'm asking next? Was there someone else? I think there was two people trying to speak. Okay, don't worry anyway, I'll ask anyway. Hopefully people don't talk over each other. So I do ask if you can keep your microphone muted whilst I am speaking, because it is recorded. And if your microphone's open, I'm going to be able to hear your background noise. So you might be having private conversations that you don't want people to be listening to. So it's better to keep your microphone muted until, of course, I ask if anybody wants to speak. Cool. All right, then. Cool. So let's go to the first question first. I'll answer your question after. So liquidity. What is liquidity? So liquidity is wicks. Let's make this chart bigger. Okay. And let's get rid of this for now. Liquidity is wicks on every time frame. Basically, liquidity is areas in the market where the bankers are going to go back towards in order for them to, you know, they're going to basically push price towards those areas so that they can clear that area, and then they can now reverse price. So you can even look at liquidity in terms of gaps in the market. So before price actually brought all the way up to this level here, you know, when it was down here at this point, there was all of this liquidity left behind from this area here. You see? So price action had to now come into the void, into this area, and had to clear this liquidity. Once it did tap out on all the liquidity it needed to, yeah, this is when we're starting to see a reversal in price action now. And we can even see like almost a telltale sign of what happened with the liquidity here. When you start to see these huge candles go up towards major resistance or support, then you're in a period where, you know, it's basically quote unquote smart money. You're seeing it move. And how you can tell it's smart money is because the only people that can make candles this big are banks or huge players in the market. They're the only ones who can do that. So when you see huge moves like this up towards support resistance level, major ones as well, especially if you see a reversal, then you can tell that this area is most likely an area of interest, and it is more than likely a liquidity area. So at some point, price action is going to go back towards there. So when you was looking for, let's just say, a buy from, you know, whenever this was starting to buy up, breakout, you can even see here there was a breakout, retest here, there was a breakout again, another retest here, there was several. So as you were looking for that, your overall TP level would have been this level up here, because you can see that this is where the liquidity zone was. Now another period of how you can look at liquidity is, or another way should I say, is you're looking for wicks on time frames. So what I would suggest for people, so you can go down to the 1 minute time frame and you're going to see there's wicks. So if not 1 month, sorry, 1 minute. So if we was to look for liquidity on this time frame, let's just go see where price action probably covered it, and I'll just try and do it quickly. If we can see something here, let's see if we can see a quick one. Okay, so here's an example of it. So you see this liquidity wick was left here. So when you was looking for a continuation of a sell, even on a 1 minute time frame, even if we're looking at that, yeah, and you're looking at your trend line here, boom, boom, 2 taps. Now you're looking at an overall TP of price action going towards this level here. So when you was able to get your, let's say, trend line entry or your support and resistance entry, there was even another entry here you could have looked at. So when price action was selling down, you can see that there was a sell before over here. So you might have said, okay, price can either go to here or to this trend line. Of course, it rejected off of here. You could say, if I get this sell in here, my overall TP level is them clearing this liquidity right here. So when they clear this liquidity, this is the scalp trade I'm going to go for, even if I'm on a 1 minute time frame. Liquidity is happening on every single time frame. Now, of course, I'm not going to do this explanation on every single time frame, so it'll take a bit of time, but just so you can understand it, I'm showing you that it does occur in a 1 minute. And even if we go all the way up into a monthly time frame, the same thing is going to happen again. So liquidity is being covered. So you can see here that there was liquidity left with this wick right here on the monthly time frame. And what happened when price action sold, it went to go cover this liquidity that was left behind over here in the market. So I'm just going to mute. If you can make sure your microphone's muted, please, so I don't hear your background noise whilst I'm speaking. So yeah, it covered this liquidity here, and then now it's left more liquidity down here, but price action's buying up. So if they decide to sell again, then we know that, you know, even from a monthly point of view, they could be going towards this liquidity area here. So sometimes on my chart, sometimes on my charts, you will see that I have an area where I'll have it marked out like this, and I'll have liquidity. So I'll just have something like this. I have a liquidity zone there. Sometimes I might even say monthly liquidity, daily liquidity. So this is how you can see obvious levels of liquidity where the market can go towards. This is what they will do. They are going to go and chase these wicks. So that is basically liquidity, and this is happening on every single time frame. There's no guarantee of where they're going to go to. It's just an idea. Remember, you're collecting data. So if they are selling, they may go to that area. Not they will, they may go to that area. Everything is a possibility. So remember, that's how we trade it now. We're trading possibilities of what can happen. So I hope that hopefully that answers your liquidity question a little bit more and clears it up. And if you need anything more on that, I can go over anything if you need me to.
So is that the liquidities, is that pretty much where they try to push people out of their like stop losses and whatnot?
I would say more than anything, it's not really them pushing people out. It's like, it's better for you to just kind of say it's a target area. So when I do have this is what you might see on some of my charts as well. Let's just say I said this is a liquidity area here, yeah? So then I'll have this, and I'll have target low right here. So I know that if they are selling price, the target low where they're looking to go towards is down here. It's the whole reason why I was expecting gold to sell in the first place, because when you go to the monthly, weekly, daily, 4 hour, there's a huge liquidity spike down towards the, you know, let's call it the extreme low for now, where you can see that. So I'm like, okay, there's a huge liquidity here. They shouldn't have left this. It looks irregular. You know, you don't usually see this type of liquidity getting left on, you know, such pairs like gold, US 30, stuff like that. I'm like, if they are going to sell, there's a chance that they're going to be pushing price fast towards this area. Whether or not they do reach this zone, we do not know. So we can say in theory, it's like a stop hunt, but really it could also be defined as the trend of the market. Because if they use a whole month to sell here, it's not really a month stop hunt, is it? It's really, the trend is still a downtrend. So that's why I would say it's not necessarily a stop hunt. Maybe on smaller time frames, when you see it right beside where you are, it could be a stop hunt to that area. But if you're looking at liquidity as a whole, as I'm explaining it to you now, it's not necessarily that, if you understand what I mean. It's more an idea of where the market can go towards. Hopefully that helps. Yeah.
Yeah, that does. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem at all. So that's literally how I use liquidity. Whenever I'm looking for one of my pairs that are in position for how I trade, you know, the accumulation and distribution, I'll just go over all the areas of the timeframes to see if there is a liquidity towards price action, to say, okay, especially if there's a liquidity in my direction of where I want price to go towards, buy or sell, I'm like, fantastic. At least I know they have a reason to buy a price if I'm looking for buyers, or a reason to sell if I'm looking for sells, basically. That's how I use liquidity more than anything. Okay.
Hello, John.
Yes. There was an Ichimoku question I did need to ask. Someone did put in there, but
yes,
answer,
yes.
sorry. Yep.
Do you trade a special chart, kind of pin bar or engulfing pattern?
More than anything, I trade an engulfing candle, but that is not my said entry for every single pair. If price action gets towards a level and I see the market has stopped on that level, that's any of the levels I've drawn out on these charts. So For example, here, this is good enough for me. So let's just say now I was trying to catch a sell here. We can see that even on a 4-hour time frame, you know, 4 hours very good, but can get you a bit later into the market. But it's a very good in-between chart. I'm sure a lot of traders know here, you know, they try and trade off the 4-hour and then scalp on lower time frames. But basically, we can clearly see there was a rejection on a 4-hour time frame off of this level here. So if price is going to sell, it will respect this weekly resistance and sell. And there's a probability it can, because we can see they tried to break this area with this 4-hour candle, but they failed. So this was a perfect trade setup for anybody today. They could have easily have got this for 60 pips. And this is why I say sometimes why people are, they're creating their own problems for them. Because if you can clearly see that, you know, a 4-hour rejection off of this price action weekly resistance, you just enter the trade. You've got to stop overthinking it. You've got to stop having FOMO. You enter the trade. If you're wrong, if you don't believe in it, just put a tight stop loss. If it goes back, then cool. But if you want to put a bigger stop loss, of course, put it above here. You just put a tight stop loss in there. It's either going to respect this level or it's not. It's really that simple. We need to stop thinking that it might respect the level, go back and then come back in later. And your job's not to do that. Your job is it going to respect this level or is it not? Because I believe this is a trade setup. You've seen a clear rejection off of here. This isn't even an engulfing, it's a pin bar, basically. You've seen this, you enter the trade. Literally, just like that. And that's how simple it has to be for you. If you was looking for your buy off of a certain level, let's see if I can find one. Yeah. So I can't see an engulfing here, probably on another chart. If I see on another chart, I'll come back to that. But yeah, that is how you can basically just use, if you're looking at candlestick patterns or stuff like that, just look for those type of things. Just look for rejections or impulses off this level. If it didn't have this rejection and I had this bearish candle off of this level, same thing. You enter here, stop loss above this level here. It's either going to respect this weekly resistance level or it's not. We need to stop thinking that, you know, there's a probability it will go back through and come back the other way. Your job is not to do that. Enter the trade as soon as you see, you know, something very simple like that.
Thank you so much, John.
Yeah, no problem at all.
Do you see another indication in the chart besides price or means price action, kind of divergence or other thing?
Divergence is natural for me if I see it on a TDI, but no, I'm literally being honest with you. If I see price action at a level, I will enter that trade. Literally, I don't overthink
purely
it.
do price action trading, basically no other indicators or something like that.
Yeah, I was very indicator type, a very indicator type of trader from my early days of trading. You can see on my YouTube videos, and it's nothing wrong with indicators. But what the problem is for people is that once you tell traders to use indicators, it's the whole reason why I set Neo up the way it is because once you start telling people to use indicators, they overcomplicate it basically. And then they sit on the sidelines waiting for every single thing to match up for them to do something, basically. And then sometimes it might not be the exact way or whatever. They miss the trade, they have FOMO, they still jump in the trade anyway. So I'm trying to show people that even without indicators, you remember the chart is still going to do what it's doing without indicators. It's just people don't know how to trade it without indicators. Do you get it? A lot of people. So why not learn how to trade it without indicators? Why not go the extra length if you really want to become successful at this game and learn how to trade it without indicators? And for you to be able to do that, this is what I'm teaching people nowadays with these cleaner charts. So literally, as soon as price gets to a level, if you see a rejection, 1 hour, 4-hour candle, you know, off of a level, if it looks like a good enough trade setup, you take it. This is why you have risk to reward. It's really that simple. For the person that said they're leaving, I think it's the person talking about the Ichimoku. It is recorded anyway, but I'll go over the Ichimoku next. If anybody else has got any questions, it'll be after the Ichimoku question I'll answer. What was I going to say? Give me 1 second here. Yeah, so yeah, basically that's what wraps up that whole idea of that. So I hope that answers your question with that one. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, John.
No problem at all. So give me 1 second. I'm just going to stop sharing, then I'll come back. 1 sec. 1 second, people. Still here with you. Where did it go? Zoom. Okay, you should be able to see my charts at the moment. Yeah, you should be able to see it. So this is for the Ichimoku person that asked. I don't know if they're still there. Yeah, I'll go over the break-even one after. Cool. So this is for the person that asked the Ichimoku. So the Ichimoku does help people find trades that are in the trend. And I did make a whole video on this as well. I don't know if the person skipped. I've made a few videos on the Ichimoku, but pardon me, I feel like a lot of people probably downplay it, maybe because it looks very messy at first. But in all theory, what you can do to make it a bit better for yourself is you can just, if really, you can just take off everything here apart from the cloud. You can make it a lot easier for yourself. So like I said, I won't go over the whole explanation of it because I have a video specifically on that. And anybody that needs to know, just let me know. And then I will put the video in the Discord after if they're interested in trying to figure out what the Ichimoku is doing. But more than anything here is that the Ichimoku is showing you a trend in the market. So let's just make these colors a bit more apparent on here. So I've taken off these 3 top ones here and I've only left on the last 3. I'm going to make these colors a bit more apparent so we can see it on the chart. Not too fit about there. So we can see an up and a down trend. Yeah, cool. And what you want to do basically with the Ichimoku is that what people's problem is they're probably going to, like, let's say they're just trying to go to a 15-minute time frame. I have explained this to people already, like I said in the video. You got to remind me when I'm in the Discord as well, because if not, I might forget, as of course I'm going to be answering a few questions in this Zoom. So what people's issue is most likely with the Ichimoku the majority of the time is that they're just trying to trade it off of one time frame. And I've explained this even from my first videos. You're not supposed to trade the Ichimoku off of one time frame, because if you're doing that, you're only seeing, you could just be seeing a pullback in a higher time frame trend. So what that is causing an issue for you is that, you basically could be in theory counter trend trading when the Ichimoku is not meant to do that. So you need to figure out a time frame for you. There's no specific ways of how to do anything in Forex. It's what you can pick up from your testing and say, this is how I would like to trade this. This is how many trades, kind of on average appear for me, sometimes less, sometimes more. And this is how I want to trade it. But let's just say this was an idea of how you're trading the Ichimoku. So instead of just going to one time frame, go to your higher time frames. Now you can go up to like your daily chart, but of course, if you're doing this, the trend in the market is going to be harder for you to, it's going to be longer for you to wait for a trade to appear. As you can see that this is technically a sell trend, as you can see here, AU is still in a sell trend. So this was even a confluence, an extra confluence today. If you're just, sorry, someone's mic is open still. I think it's closed now. Yeah, this is even an extra confluence today that price action could have sold from this level, just because you can see the Ichimoku and it's telling you it's in a downtrend. Now, the Ichimoku is a confluence. It doesn't guarantee that it's going to sell here. NFP could have broke that Ichimoku cloud by all means today. So it doesn't guarantee it's going to happen, but it does give you an idea that yes, the market's in a downtrend, and even on the daily time frame, and price could possibly sell. So now you might go down to the 4-hour time frame. Now you see in the 4-hour time frame, price is in an uptrend here. So the fact that price is in an uptrend in the 4-hour time frame, but in a downtrend on the daily time frame, we know that what we're seeing right now is not a higher time frame trend. It's actually a pullback in the market. Sorry, I'm just trying to mute this mic. Kojo, can you just mute your microphone for me for a second, please, mate? I don't know what's going on there. Thank you. Yeah, so you can see that basically this is a pullback. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to not change into an uptrend on the higher time frame, but it's just telling you that right now you're seeing a 4-hour pullback. So if you are seeing a pullback, what are you looking for? Then in theory, if you wanted to trade it this way, you would say to yourself, I can see on a higher time frame it's in a downtrend. I'm only going to be looking for a sell at a strong level. Where's a strong level here? So your strong levels would have been here for a possibility of a sell. Now that we've seen the markets pulling back, yeah, would have been for me a daily. This would have obviously been a daily resistance before it broke it, or this weekly resistance up here. More than anything, you can see that this level here is a perfect level from a rejection where the market sold from. So why wouldn't you want to sell from here again? So realistically, anybody just seeing, remember what I told you, price action was showing you this anyway. But if you were using the Ichimoku, remember, I've gone to a higher time frame. I've seen it's in a downtrend on a higher time frame. I've gone to a lower time frame. I'm seeing that it's a pullback in that trend of that higher time frame. And I'm seeing that price action, and again, where the Ichimoku was on the higher time frame was here, telling me that there is a resistance, a daily resistance around this level. So not only is the Ichimoku on the daily resistance, we're seeing here on this weekly, we have a weekly price action resistance level here. So it's telling me the probability of price selling from this level is high. So this is how I take a trade. Again, so this is what you'd be able to do. And if you wanted to get a better entry, you might now say to yourself, okay, let's go down to a 1 hour time frame and see what's happening here. Now, again, we can't see nothing great on a 1 hour time frame. Okay, let's go down to a let's say 15-minute time frame. Now here, if you wanted to be a bit more patient, you would have said to yourself, I'm going to wait for the Ichimoku cloud for price to cross the Ichimoku, and then I'm going to enter. So you could have got in as soon as you saw this break right here. You could say, okay, broke the Ichimoku cloud, bearish, I'm going to get in here. Let me just show you. So short and long, and then you would have said, okay, my stop loss is going to be just above here, and then my TP only has to be 2 going forward. So price action almost, it did. Yeah, price action hit, there you go. And that was your trade. Even just if you were just using the Ichimoku as a confluence of entry. You see how I went from the higher time frame, and then I've gone down to a lower time frame to ascertain how I can get into this trade. And I've seen price action start to go bearish on the 15-minute time frame, telling me what? Even if we get rid of the Ichimoku, remember, I'm still showing you this. I'm only showing this for people that are trying to do indicator trading, but I'm telling you, you can do all of this with price action. You can see straight away here, what we're seeing here on price action. We're seeing prices creating a lower high. So that's already told us that price action is selling. Now, when price action creates this lower high, what we waiting for? We're waiting for a breakout of this lower high. So where is it? Where did my thing go? Here. So we're waiting for price action to break out of this zone. When did we see price action break out of the zone? It kind of did here, basically. So because we can see here, so it created the lower high. So once it created this lower high, we're seeing this is, you know, triangle pattern, flag, whatever you want to call it. You've got it right there. Once you saw a breakout of this area, which was the same area here, remember, so not only is the Ichimoku showing you this automatically, price action is already showing you this. So you can see the difference of how to trade, but it's ideally showing you the same thing. You'd have been able to enter on this candle break, so you would have got in on this next candle right here, and then you would have obviously put your stop loss above here, or the lower high. You could have put your stop loss just above that lower high, and then entered the trade for a 1 to 2 trade or more. That is how you can use the Ichimoku, basically. Use the higher time frames and then go down. It's up to you what time frames you want to use. You might say, I want to use the 4 hour and enter in on the 5 minute. I want to use the 1 hour, enter in on the 1 minute. That is up to you and how often you see a trade set up for you. Me, I swing trade, so I always use the higher time frames to get an idea of trades, and then I will enter on a lower time frame because I'm okay with waiting a week for a trade. I'm fine with that. That's just how it is. So hopefully that answers the Ichimoku question. Like I said, I don't want to go too in depth into it, like crazy in depth. If you want to learn more about it and other things I can do with it, then you got to get into the mentorship, man. Don't be shy. Jump in the mentorship. You'll save money because you'll learn more, and I'll have more time to talk to you. But of course, there's other people in here that need questions answered. So what's the next question people got for me? I think there was one in the text. Where is it? There was one in the text here. Yep. Anybody else got a question for me? I think there was one in here. Someone said they got a question in the text. When do you decide to get out of a trade? Oh yeah, someone asked about risk. When do you take partial profits? I'll answer that one as well. When do you decide to get out of a trade if it's not going your way? Literally, I've said this and I'll say this a million times over. We can try and hold a trade because, you know, there's the probability it can come back. Don't get me wrong, because the best way for me to put it for you is that price action is trying to do whatever it's going to do from the lower time frame all the way up to the highest time frame, but it's going to try and make an establishment of more than likely a higher time frame move to say this is what we've planned to do that day. That's the best way I can say it to you. Yeah. So in theory, you can do that, but leverage or risk that we put on our trades stops us from being able to hold these trades as long as we would like to, in theory, basically. So now you need to look at this. Remember, I've taught every single person to draw these lines on their chart. This is something I was going to specifically only give out to people in one-on-one sessions on YouTube. I kid you not, I was literally not on YouTube, on sorry, in the mentorship program basically. But I said, you know what? Let me just give this out to every single person because it is a very basic way of trading, but it's the idea of it, what people are missing here. You've got all your support and resistance levels here. If price action holds on one of these support and resistance levels, you stay in your trade. If price action breaks one of these levels, the probability of that trade becoming a winning trade starts to lessen. So there's a huge chance that this trade is going to fail if price breaks this level. So it's basically telling you that, imagine this 4-hour candle closed above this level, then you wouldn't enter the trade. But if it came back in, here and then went back out again one more time, the probability of you losing this trade can go up some more again. This is what starts to happen. Once price wants to go in a direction, it just goes in a direction. Tell me why price got to this level, never broke this level. So you would have seen this rejection, you would have entered here, stop loss above here, and you would have had a fantastic trade here. Fantastic swing trade. Pay attention to what I'm showing you there. Once price action wants to do what it's going to do, and if you're absolutely correct, price action will respect market structure. Literally, this is why I'm trying to teach people to trade price action, because it doesn't lie when it wants to do what it's going to do. But if you're wrong, you've got to be able to accept that you're wrong. So when a trade is going past your market structure level, you need to know, okay, I'm going to be cutting this trade in the next 30 minutes or 1 hour, or I'm going to cut this trade straight away from that level and then just look for a new entry. If you've got a better probability of your risk management in terms of, maybe you're trading 1 to 4 and stuff like that, that gives you the probability of saying, okay, it hit this level, I was wrong that time. Let's say it goes back to this level. Let's say it failed this time, it kind of consolidated here, and then it didn't go all the way down, it brought back up to here. So this time it might be the right entry. So you've lost this one, but you remember you're trading 1 to 4 here. So you've still got another 3 more chances to be correct in this trade. So let's say this is the correct one and it did do, quote unquote, in the future, it did this massive move. So you was wrong the first time, but remember, you've got 3 more attempts at being right in this trade. So this time you was right when it does go off. That's all you've got to do when it comes to trading. Too many people, what they will do here is because they see this, their eyes start watering, their belly starts rumbling, they're seeing a plate of food, all they're thinking about how they could spend all this money while the trade is playing out, not even thinking that, this trade could absolutely fail. They're not seeing all of that stuff. So they risk too much on the trade, expecting it to win because it's at a resistance level. It must reject. The market doesn't care about it must. It's either it will or it won't, but it doesn't care about it must. No. It's not in that game. So you've got to take it as you take it. And you might have had to wait a month for it to come back to this level again on this one pair. You've got other pairs to trade, but that's how it goes, literally. Is there a limit to? There is no limit. Remember, Forex has no exacts. There is no exacts in Forex. There is what works for you based on how you have found a way to enter the market. Like I'm saying, if you're just trading off of support and resistance levels, then more than anything, I would say it's better for you to have more risk to reward. I personally like to keep them as even numbers, not for any major reason, just because, prefer to use even numbers. It's easier for me to work out the maths more than anything. And in terms of when you have your stop loss and your take profits. But yeah, you could just do that. So you can have 1 to 2, the best. You can even trade 1 to 1 if you want. There's no crime in that. People make money for trading 1 to 1. The only thing is that you've got to be a good trader if you trade 1 to 1, because once you start occurring losses in a row, you're going to keep going back stages. But if you trade 1 to 4, 1 to 6, 1 to 8, all of this type of stuff, it gives you more probabilities of losing trades. If you trade 1 to 8, that means that you could lose 7 trades in a row. But by the time you win the 8th trade, you'll be basically, I believe you should be back at break even. But let's just say you won 6 trades in a row. You lost 6 trades in a row and you won your 7th trade. You will basically be profitable. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that trade hits 1 to 8. This is what happens. How do you create a good trading plan daily, weekly, and monthly? Trading plan is a bit based on how you trade. Like I said, my setups are based on trades coming in. They could come in within the week, basically. So I might get 5 trades this week. I might get no trades the next week. I might get 3 trade setups that appear. So my trading plan is based on a week-to-week basis, basically. That's how I trade at the moment. So it's literally that. So that's why I do the analysis with the VIP students on the Sunday, because we're going to be looking at the week coming in ahead, basically. That's what we do. So I'll be looking at, okay, there's 4 pairs, and what I like to call is the circle of pips. I always teach them that the circle of pips is basically, literally, we would have traded this pair from the high to the low, from the low to the high. And of course, we're not going to trade the whole thing every single time. Sometimes we get very lucky, we catch the whole move. But once we catch enough of the move, because we go through all of the pairs checking for this, the circle of pips, then I'm in a position that once the price is here, I can take X amount off of this pair and I can go and move on to another 2 or 3 other pairs that can provide the same type of setup for me, being at a high or a low. And I like to call that the circle of pips. People don't get it when I tell them at first, but if you stay in mentorship long enough, let's say 3 to 6 months, you start to see this is how John trades, basically, because I don't need to trade any other way. I've literally been trading like that from day one, but I started to realize this is how I'm trading over the years. And that's why I coined it the circle of pips, basically. So I literally wait for price to be high or low, and then that's when I start to pay attention to where price pairs, which pairs I'm going to be taking, basically. So, and I use the monthly, daily, or weekly time frame to get that information. That's why I trade off of basically the daily, weekly, or monthly time frame. Someone asked about the risk for, how do you know when to take partial profits? You need to know when to take partial profits, yeah? I'll do this first. So let's just say we're in this trade, then I'll go on to the other questions. Thank you for your questions, people. Really do appreciate it. This is how it goes. Hold on, so give me a sec. Hold on, short tool. Okay. So I did mention this in my last video, just trying to explain it to people. So imagine I'm in this trade here. Now the, quote unquote, basic way to trade is 1 to 2, basically. So this would have been a winning trade like that, yeah? So this trade was winning if I took it like that. Now, let's just say that, this would have been a winning trade, so 1 to 2. Use your use your use your long and short tool on TradingView in order for you to know when to take partial profit. So if your trade is 1 to 2 risk to reward, if people are asking, look, you can see it says it here for you, says it. Then once your trade gets to 50%, which is 1, yeah, take your partial profits if you need to. So let's say you enter the 0.02, you take a 0.01 off the table once your trade gets to this ratio, and then leave the other 0.01 to get to the 2 ratio. That's it, literally. And if you've got, 1 to 4, then you might only be taking, let's say you got 1 to 4 as your, that's your risk to reward you like to take, because you like to have, the way you are, you're jittery sometimes in the market. You might lose trades because of mistakes, whatever. You like to trade 1 to 4. That's you, because of your psychology, your personality tells you that's better for me because I make silly mistakes sometimes. Now you're in a position that once it goes 2 and changes to that, then you take your partial profits. And then when it gets to 4, of course, you can close the trade if you want to, literally. And that's all you have to do. So if you took a 0.02, by the time it got to 2 risk to reward, you would have taken off a 0.01 off the table and then left the other 0.01 to get to the 4 risk to reward ratio. That's what you can do. If not, if you don't want to do that, you want to make sure you're always catching the most of the trade, then when it gets to the halfway point, you can at least put your stop loss to entry. So if anything happens, you're not losing the trade, and you did give the trade enough time to breathe. You gave it 50% of its movement to breathe. So if it pulls itself back, you did something good. You gave it 50%. Remember what I said, if it respects structure, it should just go. If it's not trying to respect structure, there's a probability when it starts eking back towards your entry, this is not the right trade. How many times have you seen a trade go 50% of the way, come all the way back to entry, and then go on to be a loser? I've seen that happen in swing trades so many times. It's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. It will go 150 pips in the right way, then the next day it will come back 200 pips. I've seen it. So yeah, that's that one anyway. Yeah, what point do you set break even? Yeah, so I just answered the break even question. Okay, how do you get better entries without getting stopped out? So again, you see, this is one, your psychology will get better and better at Forex when you stop trying to look for exact things in Forex. Your job is not to do that. I want everybody right now who's here to just take a breath. Just get a woosa moment, woosa. It's from Bad Boys. That just take one of those. It's, yeah, there is no exacts when it comes to Forex. What it is is you read data. All of this is just data, all of it. Imagine it's just numbers. Really, it's just numbers. We use the candlesticks to identify numbers. That's all it is. None of these candlesticks, you can even say it's fugazi. It's not even real. It's not real. It's just numbers, because really and truly, all price is doing is this line is just moving. This is the real Forex over here. Price is just moving up and down to these levels. We're just using candlesticks to make the numbers look easier for us to basically spot. Yeah. That's literally what it is. That's all it is. So when you're looking for stuff that is exacts, you need to take that away from you. You're not doing that. I understand Forex is just numbers. All you need to look at is if I add 1 plus 1, that should equal 2. If you take away if you take away 1 from 2, that will equal 1. Basically, that's all Forex is. Now, how many times is this going to happen in order for me from starting from 1 to be able to go up to 2, to be able to go up to 3, to be able to go up to 4, then go back down to 3, but then go up to 6, but then go back down to 4, but then go up to 7. That's what Forex is. Now, for you to be able to do that, yeah, don't look for exacts. If the market is at an area and you're thinking, okay, it looks like it's going to buy and sell from there because, you know, you've seen this X amount of times, you enter the trade. It's just either going to go up to 3, 5, 7 in terms of the numbers if you grow in your account, or it's going to go down. There is no perfection in this game. There is no special thing that says, yes, this is when. I've seen every setup I've traded at some point crumble and fail. And that doesn't mean forever. It could be for a week. It could be for 2 weeks. It could be for a month. And that obviously that's depending on how many trade setups you have. I might have 5 trade setups in a month. It can fail. So there is no perfect way to avoid getting stopped out. Anybody that's telling you that is a lie, man. It's a lie. Nobody has a way of not getting stopped out. If they want to stop you out because, you know, this is where they're going in the market, that's what they're going to do. There is no perfect way. Just take the trade. Your risk management is the perfect way to stop you losing too much whilst getting stopped out. That's what you need to pay attention to. How do we get in? Sometimes, do you think it's better to focus on 1 to 2 pairs? You can. I don't focus on 1 to 2 pairs. Another thing, I saw someone else say recently on YouTube that, you know, focusing on every single pair. You know, YouTube's always going to say something. Like I said, whoever's telling you not to, there is no way of getting stopped out is a liar. Everyone's going to have something to say as a YouTuber. It just is what it is, you know. But the realism of everything here, yeah, is that there is no set way to trade. There's a way that works for you as a trader. I trade every single pair I can get my hands on. Obviously, I don't have to trade oils, all the exotics. I don't have to do that, but I trade the majority of the currency pairs. Some of them I've taken off my list because I've traded them for so long now. I can see that ones that are from my data that I've collected, I can see ones that lose more than they don't. Basically, the ones I've taken off my list are pairs that don't have a big enough ADR range. If their ADR is too small, that's their average daily range in terms of the pips that they move in a day, I don't trade them, because if I'm looking for swings in the market, I'm looking for price action to move. It needs to trend. Advancing, declining is why I trade. I've not lied about any of this. I've told every single person time and time again, whether in a VIP or free group, if price action, if this pair doesn't advance or decline enough within a week, within a month, whatever, I remove it from my system, because the likelihood of it failing is going to be more. Remember, probabilities. So why am I going to trade it if the probability of it losing is going to be higher than a pair that trends more? It's really that simple in terms of that. So yeah, that's what I do. If you want to trade 1 to 2 pairs, you can. But if you're going to trade 1 to 2 pairs, you need to really be a scalper more than a swing trader. That's what it is, because price action takes a long time to get to zones if you're a swing trader. So trading 1 to 2 pairs, unless you've already got a lot of money behind you and huge capital, so you can just, whenever you're trading those trades, you're good, then you're going to be waiting a long time to make any type of money in Forex. What time frame do you use for entry? I use a 15-minute time frame for entry. It doesn't matter what time frame you use for entry. It's where it really doesn't matter. You got to figure out a way to trade, and then you can use any time frame for entry. It's all the same. I've seen another YouTuber say Forex is fractal. I believe they say fractal, something like that. He kept saying, but I get it, because whatever patterns appearing on the highest time frame, it's going to start. Remember, any pattern that appears has to start from the lowest time frame. So I do give that YouTuber props for that. It's true. So it doesn't matter what time frame you do enter on. What it does matter is how you do your analysis and how you do your trade setups. So if I'm swing trading, even if I'm looking at the monthly, weekly, daily, I can still enter on a 1 minute. But I personally prefer to enter on a 15-minute. I'm just used to it from day one when I started trading. What amount of capital? I'm going to go through all your questions. So please, if you've got more questions, put them in there. I'm going through them on the one by one, the best way I can. So you have to bear with me if I do miss any of your questions. You have to just put it there again for me if I do miss it. But what time frame do you use for entry? So yeah, so I've done that one. What amount of capital? So when I'm saying capital, what amount of capital would you suggest to swing trade Euro USD? Capital. I'm going to tell people again and again and again. Remember everything I've just taught you just right now in probably the last 15 to 20 minutes in this Zoom. We assess data, and why I have long-winded answers for this is because this is me teaching you psychology. A lot of people are struggling with psychology, but if I was just to say, do this, do that, do this, you would miss the psychology sense of what I'm trying to say. Remember, psychology is an understanding. Yeah, cool. We collect data. Yeah. So if we're collecting data and we have probabilities that we need in order to win in the market, and we want better probabilities, yeah, then the smaller amount of capital we have to enter into the market, the less chance we have of long-term success. The more amount of capital we have in the market, the more chance we have of long-term success. So this is why I'm telling people to go and get funded accounts now, because I've realized it's been, can you hear me? Can people still hear me? Cool, because some people are saying, okay. So again, the smaller amount of capital you have, yeah, let me just do this quickly as I'll tell you after this. The smaller amount of capital that you have in the market, the more chance you're going to be, you're not going to get long-term success. The more amount of capital you have in the market, the more you're going to have a better chance of having long-term success. So you need to go get yourself a prop account. People are in fear of prop accounts because of the requirements it takes to actually get your account, but they don't understand that that actually teaches you to be a better trader. If you can't pass a prop account, there's a high chance you're most likely not going to be able to grow your normal account, because there's more than anything, there's reasons. And this doesn't mean if you can't pass your prop account in one sitting of doing that. It's like when you go and do a driving test, you don't pass every time. I failed my practical. This was years ago now. I failed not my practical. I failed my theory for my driving test 3 times. It wasn't until I got on the 4th one where I passed. I'm a visual learner more than an actual, written learner and stuff like that. I don't learn off of like reading books and all this stuff. I learn off of seeing. Yeah. So this is literally what happens with the challenge accounts. Like, people are worried about failing those accounts, but they don't realize that market conditions were probably just not conducive to the way they needed to trade at the time. So this is why they failed. They think it's them. But if the market is not in your 4 phases, I'm teaching you very key information here. The market moves in 4 phases. Pick one phase or pick one of the 2 phases for yourself, because accumulation and distribution is the same. Advancing, declining is just the same. Advancing is buying, declining, selling. Accumulation, distribution is just consolidation. So it's trading highs and lows basically in the market, highs and lows, highs and lows. Yeah, when it's there, pick one, stick to it. When it goes out of whack and it doesn't work no more, don't move to another one. Wait until it comes back into check, because what's going to happen is that's when you're going to have your long-term consistency. Is how Neo was able to have a 70% win rate over a period of 7 months. Do you get it? Because I didn't start trading 60 different ways of Neo. Neo's always just been trading the same thing. In, out, winning, losing, winning, losing, winning, losing. Like, that's what happens. So you just got to stick to that, basically. You need to get yourself a prop account, and you need to be able to trade with more capital. That's the best thing to do. Okay, let's go back here. I just want to see. So once you've got that, you'll realize that you can take. So when you do lose trades, you've still got more probabilities of entering trades again and moving forward. But I tell you, I kid you not, if you stick to one strategy, you get a prop account, I guarantee you, and people don't put guarantees. If you stick to risk management and I can't guarantee you if you're an emotional trader. If you emotional trade, that's your own problem. As Nigerians would say, that's your own palava. That's your own palava. That's what that is. You can't if you start gambling when you're trading, that's not you sticking to a strategy. So we just have to call a spade a spade. But if you stick to simple 1 + 1 is 2, 2 + 2 is 4. If you trade like that, yeah, I guarantee you will pass a proper count this year. But if you start going all over the place, you won't, because your strategy will come into play and it will work for at least one sitting of the exam you go for, which is the proper count. Agent tells you to trade probably. There we go. Does risk management also come with profit management? So risk management, that's a bit of a, let's see how I can put that out there for you. Risk management, profit management. So I would say, yeah, risk management in general, as long as you're good with risk management, your profit management should be okay. There shouldn't be an issue with your profit management, because if your risk is in check and you're following your rules, it wouldn't make sense, your risk, if you wasn't making profit. Do you get what I'm saying? There'll be an issue somewhere. So it's either the market is not conducive to what you're trading at the moment, or your risk management is out of, you're not doing your risk correctly. So with your risk being done correctly, you should be, that's the whole point of you working out risk management, is that you've seen a strategy, it works X amount of time. As long as I follow this risk, I should see profits. So it's a byproduct, if you get what I'm saying, of the risk management. So profit management already. And what the most I can say with profit management is knowing when to stop. You need to know when to stop. It's like what I tell people in the VIP. I said, if you get 1 to 2% growth on your funding account, yeah, your prop account, it doesn't matter what size of that account is, just keep in your brain that by the time I get to the maximum limit of this prop account in this company, you know, my Forex funds is 600K, that's $6,000 to $12,000 a month. To make 1 to 2% a month, yeah, is easy. I don't care what anybody says in this Zoom. Nobody is losing every single trade forever. They're making money, but then because it's not enough money, they're still going back into the market and losing money. That's all that's happening. Nobody can sit here and say that's not what they're doing if they're not consistent right now. Nobody. Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me, people? Is it clear?
Yeah.
Okay, because people are saying bad connection. Okay, sorry, I was reading the old one. That's why, my bad. I thought it said bad connection, so I didn't want to keep talking and nobody clear. So yeah, that's what every single person is doing. If you can just get in your head to make, this is why they tell you to trade 1 to 2%. If you have a 600K prop account, and remember what I'm telling you here, people, this is one company, that you could do this with 3 companies and have over $1 million worth of capital. If you're making 1 to 2% growth, which is easy, I know at least 95% of people here, if they're not like they just started Forex last week, are making that type of money a month, you know, then you're going to be able to make $6,000 to $12,000 a month. Stop over trading, stop using the wrong capital to trade, go and get yourself a proper account and start working on passing those, because 1,000 is not going to do you nothing in this market. This market is trading billions. 1,000 is going to do you nothing. Doesn't mean you can't grow it, but the majority of people are coming from work where they're making 1,000 a month. Yeah. So when they're trading with 1,000 in the market, it's not substantial. It doesn't make sense. Your company can't just say, we're going to make 1,000 this month to pay you. They need to be making 50, 100, 200,000 to be able to pay their employees. So why do you think you can come into the Forex market, pay yourself a yearly salary when your own company are making hundreds of thousands to pay you? Why do you think you can come into Forex with 1,000 and get a yearly salary? Do you get where I'm coming from? Just think of the logic. This is psychology. And this is where people are struggling. Just think of the logic behind what I just said there. All right, cool. So let me go into the next question. Yeah, probably I'm only going to try. Yeah, try. Yeah, no. It's easier said than done to pass these accounts. I'm going to keep telling you. It is. People think that it's hard. The market is eventually going to go into your phase and you will pass this account. It's because you won't pass the account when you want to. You'll pass the account when the market lets you. That's what the problem is. So too many people will sign up. They're going to go and over risk, over leverage with the account because they got 1,000. They say, no. I got £1,000. Let me go get the 100K account because I'm a boss. I'm a boss. That's what they're going to say. I don't know why. Don't do that to yourself. Probabilities. Go and get yourself the smaller account and grow. One thing, you're going to learn how to grow. Did you understand? You're going to learn what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong. You're even going to see, oh, this makes sense, or this doesn't make sense. Go get yourself the smaller accounts. And then once you keep passing those accounts, go up. Do you understand? That's it, because most people have about 1,000 to start Forex with. If you go and get yourself $1,000 My Forex Funds account, yeah, sorry, not $1,000. Yeah, let me just do this quickly. Hold on. If you've got any more questions, put them here. I'm just going to stop the screen share and come back. One sec. Give me one sec, people. I'm still with you. I hope you're liking the Zoom so far, though. Hope you're liking it. Hope it's giving you some inspiration for next week, man. Some inspiration. Let's go here. Okay, we're on the My Forex Funds website. This is cool. Yeah, no, I tell people to get in the Zooms. Like, when it comes to this type of thing, I try and be as real as I possibly can. I keep telling you, I would have millions of people follow me all the time if I was just lying to people all day about Forex. When you become a mentor, quote unquote mentor in this game, it's so easy to be able to lie to people about, oh, do this and you'll make money. Do it. So easy, man. If you wanted to. But it comes down to a characteristic of a person, and it's not my characteristic to do that to people, to tell them, listen, do this, do this, do this, do that. It's not like, and the main thing I know is because it's an adverse effect what happens in the Forex market. People are going to start to gamble if you lie to them about it. And if they start to gamble, remember, you got to start thinking people's families are going to get affected by this as well. So for me, I can't sleep at night knowing that someone's going to gamble based on, let's say, a lie I'm telling them. And then, you know, their kids and stuff. I'm a family man myself. I've got a son. I'm not going to be, I just can't do it with myself. Do you get what I'm saying? I can't be thinking, right, this kid is going to school, not eating, because I'm lying to this gentleman or this lady about Forex and they're using all their money here. Do you understand? I can't do that. Some people can. You know how this world is. Some people can, but I can't do that. So anyway, when we go into this, you can see straight away that you've got 5K, you've got 10K, you've got 20K, you've got 50K, you've got 100K, you've got 200K. Yeah. If you've got $1,000, start with minimum of the 10K accounts or start with the 20K accounts. Why I'm telling you this, yeah. Oh, sorry, you can't even see it. Can you see my screen? You can't see it right now. Let me see. Hold on. Yeah, you can see my screen now. Yeah. So My Forex Funds, we've got all these account sizes. Sorry, let me drink water. You've got all of these account sizes. So now what I'll tell you is you've got $1,000 in the market or 500. Yeah, you want to start between 500 investment people need to start with the $10,000 account. 1,000 investment traders need to start with the 20K account. Start with these accounts. As long as you're profitable, even by 1 penny or 1 cent, yeah, you're still going to be able to redo the challenge at the end of the 30 days, basically, as long as you don't emotionally trade. Remember, everything I'm telling you here, I cannot be accountable for emotional trading. I tell my VIP students that as well. If you decide to join VIP, I give you all of this in VIP. I give you a bunch of videos. I give you Zoom calls 3 times a week. I'm there for you all the time. So you can pretty much talk to me about any problems you're having. There's even a student today I've got to speak about that's having some issues with consistency. Yeah. Like, I'm doing this all the time. So if you decide to privately go, remember, we're all adults here. We have to be of the age of 18 or higher to be able to trade anyway. If you are going off by yourself and emotionally trading, I hold no liability for that. If you can't stay profitable, you have to, maybe you're not ready for Forex at this moment. You need to find out within yourself that I can control the way I'm trading. Yeah. But what I'm saying is that basically, if you do get one of these accounts here, you're going to be in a position with either the trades that you're getting from Neo or the setups I'm telling you per week for you to be able to find ways of how to pass these challenges over a period of time. You might not pass on your first attempt, like I told you. It's not a problem. Do you go and open up a business and it just works in the first month? When does it do that? Again, another thing, why do Forex people do that? They see one thing and they expect it should just work for them straight away. I haven't done one business that hasn't taken years to grow off the ground. There's not one business I've all of a sudden started making 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 a month from. Not one. Everything takes years. or it takes months. It takes time in it. So again, you get yourself this account. If you've got 500, you get yourself a 10K. If you've got 20K, if you've got 1,000, you get yourself a 20K account. If you've got 1K, and that's what you do. Has anybody got any questions on anything to do here? Because you know what I mean, I get emotional when it gets into Forex. People can say it's ranting and whatever it is, but boy, I'm just speaking the truth. If people want to pass these accounts, you know, if everyone's passing, then like I said, people wouldn't be here. So, anybody got any question on my Forex funds or anything like that? Just so I know, let me share in the chat. You have to make it in 30 days. Yeah, you've got to make it in 30 days, basically. Phase 1, you've got to do 8% in 30 days. Yeah. Sorry, 12. Well, no, sorry, my bad. Yeah, 8% in phase 1, and then you've got to do 5% in phase 2. So take your time. Take your time. You don't have to try and rush it. Another thing people try and do, they see everybody on YouTube. If it's not grow a small account super fast, it's pass your Forex funds account or pass your prop account in 2 days, in 24 hours, in 1 hour. Like, these people are already profitable people. Don't try and compete with them. It's pointless. You've got 30 days for a reason. The majority of people do not even get to the 30 days because they just get mad emotional whilst trading this, not realizing that even if they've lost the percentage they can lose for the day on this account, tomorrow's a new day. The next day is a new day. That whole week was crap, but next week is perfect. Every trade working, or 3 out of the 5 trades working, and you're back up on the account. So then the next week, another 3 trades winning, you're back up, you're profitable now. One thing people don't see is the future when it comes to Forex. They're always thinking of the now. You got to think of the future, man. Cool. I'm going to get a 5K account. See how I could. Yeah, go and get a 5K account. That's what I've been telling you. That's why I made a video on it. Why not? If you can do the 5K account, it's better than putting $50 in your account. You're not going to do nothing with $50 in your account. So you might as well put $50 in the 5K account and try and grow that. Once you get 20K account, can they upgrade your account after? Yeah, you can keep getting it all the way up into 600K if that's what you're saying. After a while of being in profit. Yeah. But once you get the 20K account, can they upgrade your account after a while of being in profit, or do you have to try again? When you say that upgrade question, you've got to reiterate that question for me. So what do you mean, that whilst you're in the phases or when you've got your live account? That's what I need to know. I need to know if it's when you're in your phases, your phase 1 and 2.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. So like what I'm trying to say is, say you've passed the 20K account,
Yeah.
and after like a month or so, you've been profitable. Would they offer you like, hey, we've seen you've been profitable, here's the 50K account, without having to do another challenge after passing the 20K account and being in profit for some time?
No, you've always got to do a challenge, no matter who you are, no matter where you stand. You've always got to do phase 1 and phase 2 to get your live accounts. Most prop firm trading companies are like that. There's no company that just give you another account. You've always got to do the challenges.
All right, thank you.
No problem. What are the rules for phase 2? Since okay, phase 2 is 5. It's the same rules as phase 1. It's just 5% you've got to make, and then you've got 60 days. So they even give you more time to pass phase 2. That's how crazy it is. You've got more time. So what I tell traders to do is whatever your risk parameters were for phase 1, now you can split those in half if you want to. Of course, if you see prime setups, that's what happened to me on USD JPY. I saw a prime setup. So by the time it was even EuroCAD, that's the way I took it. I've already said that to you. I told every single person. So you can even see this is all the way back near here. So again, it's near a prime setup right now, USD JPY. So imagine I'm in my prop account. I'm like, oh, it's came all the way back up here. Now for it to come all the way back up here again, yeah, I think they might continue to go higher, because that's a crazy push, man. That's a crazy push all the way back up. But if I did want to take this trade off of this level, let's say, you know, it rejected off of this level, then now I could say, okay, you know what? I'm going to leverage a bit higher. I'm going to use 2 days worth of my risk to try and leverage more, 3 days worth of my risk on this trade. Let me see how this goes. But I'm not going to use my whole account. I'm going to use 2 or 3 days worth of risk, because 2 or 3 days worth of risk is still going to probably get me, like, remember, we've got to make 5%. If I'm right, that could get me an extra 3% going forward in that one trade, rather than only getting 1% or 0.50 basically of a percent, 0.5%. That's what I would do. But it's only because when you look at my chart, what does it look like here? It looks like a prime opportunity for me to be able to trade. I'm not trying to do that trade from down here. Do you get what I mean? For a sell, I'm looking here and I'm like, oh, if this does decide to sell and this is the proper sell this time, you know, where it properly wants to go and break everything, I don't even need all of this to pass it. Let me try and see if I can get 3% off of this trade, you know, and if it looks like it's even beautiful, I might even try and do the whole trade in one. Therefore, I don't have to look for X amount more. But guess what I will do? I'll put an extremely tight stop loss. So if I'm wrong, it's literally the market has got to respect this level or it doesn't. That's how I would trade it. And that's how I'd be able to jump forward quicker. Do you understand? I would look for trades that I'm looking for, but in prime opportunities as well. And that's what I'll do. So I wanted to go into more. There was another question there. So I hope what I just said there made sense to you. What I was just saying on that. Go back to my Forex funds. Is the minimum, let's see here. It's easy, looks easy, but it's the emotions that will play with you. But again, I'm telling you, every single person in this Zoom right now can pass one of these accounts. But what you got to stop doing, yeah, you got to stop thinking you're going to pass in your first attempt. Stop doing it. Doesn't matter if you don't pass in your fourth attempt. You will pass one of the attempts as long as you just stick to set rules. Just look at it like anything you would invest into. So your mate comes to you and says, yo, I've got a business opportunity. Give me 2,500. If your good friend comes to you and tells you that you trust, has done things before, you might invest into it, you know, because he obviously explains the growth of how much you'll make. You might do it because, you know, it's your family, it's your good friend, whatever. So if you're looking at it from that type of point of view, do the same with this. Stop thinking, stop calculating how much money you're going to be spending before you've even passed the account. Pass the account, then calculate the money. You understand what I'm saying? And that's how it'll be better for you, because you're going to realize that, oh, I might not pass the first or the second time, but the third time I will, as long as I stick to my rules. Simple as that. So when you pass your proper account, what's next? Once you pass your phases, then you get your live account. Basically, once you get your live account, you have to wait 30 days to get paid out at first. Once you get that first payout, if you're profitable on that in the first 30 days, then what they're actually going to do for you is they'll give you a refund on the account you paid for. So you're going to get your money back. Yeah, you'll get this money back. You'll get this money here back, or whatever you pay, obviously, for whichever account. You'll get that back, and you're going to get your money that you make on the account in terms of your profits. Remember, all you need to do is make 1 to 2%. So you get 1 to 2% if you make it, and you'll get this money back. So then with the money you get back, what can you do again? You can reinvest, my people, and go get another account. This is how you do it. So this is how you're able to compound these accounts and go up. You could keep doing that, basically. So that's what happens. And then after the first 30 days, then when it gets to the next period, it says it here, so people can see it. It says after that, then you get bi-weekly payments, and it's 75% for the first 30 days that you're going to get. So they'll take 25. After that, the next month, second month, you're getting your payout on your live account. You're going to get 80%, and they're going to take 20%, and you can have bi-weekly payouts. So every 2 weeks you get paid. And on the third month, then it's 85%. So they'll take 15% of your profits, and it's still bi-weekly payouts. And these are the payment platforms. It's bank transfer, PayPal, TransferWise. I think one of them is Deal, some company called Deal. And then you can also get it to your Coinbase, your cryptocurrency wallet, basically. Let's just see here. Now there's a lot of questions on this. It's good. So people are seeing the realism of these prop accounts. They make a lot of money. Do you know what it is? I wouldn't even say they make a lot of money from people failing. I feel like they make a lot of money from people being emotional. It's the best way of putting it, because they make money when you pass these accounts. They're not making money when you pass them. It's people that are just being emotional. Remember, they don't have to give out no money until you get your live account. So if you're getting your live account and you're making money, you're going to make them money. Do you understand where I'm coming from? So why wouldn't they want you to pass? They want you to pass, but people are too emotional. So of course they make money on emotional people. That's just the reality of it. I have not blown one funding account where I haven't been emotional. Literally any account I've done good risk management with, I'm probably just, if I failed it, and this is throughout my history before even this one, it's probably because I've just not been in the right phase in the market. And I'm literally maybe 1% down. So I'm probably down by like 200 from the start balance, maybe 500. I'm not down to the last dollar. in the account. You get what I'm saying? So yes, that is the minimum amount of trading days. Yeah, you gotta wait 5 days whenever you do pass your account. But again, like I said, respect the 30 and the 60 days. Don't try and pass these fast, even though you eventually can do. If you do that, I'm telling you, unless you've got the money and it's still not doing that, remember you're starting to gamble. And when I say the money, I'm talking about maybe you've passed the account, you've got it, you've made profits from the account, then you can do all of this passing one day. But if you've not been profitable in Forex at all yet, don't try and pass it before those 5 days for sure. And definitely respect the 30 and the 60 days, because you're going to come in with the idea that I can pass it fast. But again, is the market in your phase? You have no idea. Only the future will tell you if the market is in your trading phase. And I've realized that with every single Neo setup. I literally can just keep trading Neo. Like, I'm confident to keep trading Neo and pass many of these accounts. Like, and I'm going to be showing it. Like, I'm that confident. I'm going to be showing it. I'm passing these accounts. They might not happen every single week, every single month, but I'm telling you, I will be passing these accounts. Neo has shown me nothing but evidence that this setup occurs, and when it does occur and the market's in my phase, it works, and it works beautifully. We saw the last one, GBP USD. NFP was what caused it to reject. But what do I always say? Fundamentals ruin your trade. I told every single person, I was talking to everybody yesterday in the group, telling them, look at GU, pay attention, news, because I'm aware that news, especially major news, will affect your pair. Simple. 10 days, so it's 5 days with my Forex funds, it's 10 days with FTMO for your minimum trade days. What do you think is better, supply, demand, or support and resistance? Supply, demand, all the blocks, all of those things, it's the same thing. Just draw your support and resistance on your chart. I'm telling you, don't stress yourself. Like, don't stress yourself. If you learn how market structure works and you just draw these lines, just draw the lines, it's all the same difference. Because I've traded supply, demand, support, resistance, all the blocks, and guess what happens? When it's going to fail, what's it going to do, people? Can anybody put it in the chat for me quickly? If your setup's going to fail, what's it going to do? Anybody, quickly. There we go. So what do we care what we're trading here? What do we care? What do we care, people? It's like I keep saying, stop trading a specific trade probabilities. It does. I'm telling you, I've been trading till my eyes are, they're dry. They're not even watering, they're dry because I'm staring at the screen for so many hours. And guess what? When the trade's gonna fail, it's gonna fail, bruv. It's not gonna miraculously say, oh, you know what? Let's pity them today, man. Let's pity them. It's gonna fail, man. It's literally, that's it. Simple. If it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. I made money on GCAD. I lost. This is a live trade fact for you right now. GBP CAD, a Neo trade. It failed when it first came through. I saw it went down to a prime position. I took the trade. I made money off the trade. I tried to re-enter the trade after I took partial profits. I tried to re-enter it when it came back to entry. And guess what? It failed with NFP again. The re-entry, because their aim was not to buy. It was to break lows and sell. It is, no matter how much I wanted it to buy, they don't care. Simple. That's it. Let's call it what it is. Literally, it's that simple. So you don't have to even stress about all of that. Yeah, Neo is basically, just to make it easier for everyone, I've caught throughout the period of the 3 years, of course, you've seen me go through X amount of strategies on my YouTube and stuff like that. I've picked apart the best things that I need to be able to trade, and then I've put it all together in one system. Now, I was going to make it an indicator that you'd see something on your chart and all this stuff and things like that. But I said to people, once I started using like certain indicators in the VIP, I realized that indicators wasn't for everybody. And even though it seemed very simple for me to explain indicators like TDIs and all this type of stuff to people, they weren't still, some people were still struggling. Like, more people were struggling that weren't struggling. They weren't only, the only times they weren't struggling is when I was telling them, look, price is here, economy, it can pretty much buy from this level or sell from this level. That's when they wasn't struggling. But whenever I was leaving them to their own devices, the majority of them, there was, don't get me wrong, there was the odd few that would come through and they'll be doing their thing with whatever I'm teaching them. But then there was other people still struggling. And there are a lot of new traders that might come into VIP because they like how I teach. they're still thinking, oh my God, this guy's just giving me like 5 indicators to put on the chart. What do I do now, basically? And so that's why I've, with all of it, I basically said, okay, let me just pick apart all the best things I need and then just make it simple price action for people to be able to follow. So I teach people price does this within a week. Yeah, not within a week, sorry, within in general. Yeah. So I say price will do this in general. Yeah. When it does this, we are waiting for our breakout, our retest, and then we're waiting for our entry. So what Neo does is Neo will pick up when once the price actions basically going in that pattern. So it's gone down to its level, it's broken out, it's gone back into another level, and then it's when it's giving us our entry for our breakout for the retest. Sorry, once it's done the retest and it's, you know, obviously going to buy or sell again, that's when Neo will give you an entry. So again, this is literally like what happened here. So we see price action all the way up from here. This is a Neo trade that came through. Price action bought all the way up. When it got to this level, and it doesn't mean Neo can't give you a wrong indication. It could have told you to sell from here first. I'm not telling you Neo's a perfect system, but when it gets the trade right, it gets the trade right, people. And this is an example of it. We never had no trade in USD JPY until it went all the way up here. When it went up here, then it pinged, it came all the way back down. When it went up here again, breakout, retest, yeah, towards this area was here. This is where we got a Neo indication. Now, when we got that Neo indication, this gave us a trade for 400 pips. This is what Neo does for you. Do you get what I'm saying? I've realized that once Neo is so right, this is why I keep telling you that when I see optimum trades, I'm taking these entries. This is why I'm doing it now, because my system, it's the way I trade it. I'm teaching people this as well. Like, look at these trades, literally what I'm showing you now, but I'll show them more in depth, obviously, in the VIP service. I say, look, yeah, this is what's happening. So once it's done this now, usually I'll tell people, okay, we'll put our stop loss. It might be, it'll be our ADR length in the going back or going forward, depending on buy or sell. So it'll be an ADR length for this pair, be let's say 100 pips, yeah. But I've realized that once the Neo trade is right, and it is actually right, I don't even need to do that. And this can cost me, you know, this is me personally, not for the trades that come through on Neo, but of course I'm micromanaging my trade, so I'm cool. It's not like me telling you get in, get out. This is me doing it personally myself. Yeah. I've realized that once the trade is right, your stop loss doesn't even need to be that big, because it's going to give you such a sweet trade, Neo, when it pops up. Yeah. That your stop loss could literally just be above the last high or the last low, because the market's going to respect structure. And then literally, I'm not lying to you. Anyone that's in VIP that's still here, I gave them the entry. Then I told these people on this trade right over here. Yeah. And this is even why I have it. I told these people it was a line here. I've drawn a line here and I said, look, if the market doesn't break this level here, it was like here, then we're going to see a sell. I kid you not. So I've entered like a 4.0 on this trade here. Pardon me. And then I put my stop loss literally just above here. Like, it wasn't even here. It was that bad. It was like, I said, if it respects this level, then we should see it. Because I'm like, it's either going to stop me out or it's not. And I kid you not, because I stayed up all night trying to get this entry, because it was going up, going down on the lower time frames. Yeah, I was tired. So by the time the trade was playing out, I fell asleep. So I literally just fell asleep, like literally about an hour before the trade played out. And then, yeah, we just saw this rejection. And then boom, as soon as the 10 a.m. candle opened, the 4-hour candle, boom, never looked back. Like, it just kept selling. And then literally that's how I was even able to make so much money off of this trade. And then when it did this, I even gave out this trade here. This is why you can see this line here. I was like, this was an impulse to take everybody out from the sell. It's not supposed to do that, because we know Neo trades are supposed to do what they're doing when they are correct. And then I gave everybody the resell here. And that's all of that's in the general chat. Not all the time do I look for a rejection wick. I won't even lie to you. That's just me, but I'm willing to take losses, like, and cut my trades quickly. That's why my win rate is so low, because I will enter a trade 8 times if I need to. I'm not stressed, but I'm not entering a trade 8 times at a 4.0 lot size. I'll enter the trade very small 8 times, lose $10, $10, $20, $15, $10, $10. Do you get what I'm saying? But by the time if it's done that X amount of times and I've been patient enough to wait to where it goes, then I might say, okay, boom, now I'm going to enter a 1.0, because I've waited 8 times, let's say, in quick succession to see what happens. But quick enough succession might be 3 hours worth of the chart playing out. Do you get what I mean? And then I'll be like, boom, now it's time to hit it heavy, because it's either going to respect this level now or it's going to fail miserably. But if it fails, my stop loss isn't 150 pips away with a 1.0. it's like 15 pips away. So I'm not stressed. That's what I'll technically do. Now, I'm not telling people to go and trade like this. Remember, I've been trading like this for years. And my data has shown me this is what trades can do, basically, that I trade. Not every trades I'm taking. So that's why I'm able to do that, literally. And that's the only reason why I told you, like I told people, I passed the prop account with a win rate of like 30%. It doesn't matter because I know that the trades I take are high probability winners. But if I want to leverage higher, I've got to basically keep re-entering because I might be wrong. It's literally that simple. It gives you an entry, it gives you a stop loss, and it gives you a take profit, Neo. That's what it gives you. It gives you all of those. That's what Neo gives you on the trade. So it would have given you an entry here, stop loss up there, and a take profit. And you just hold it. No problem at all. And you'll get that alert in Telegram. So I'll just put what I've been doing now. So I'll just put a chart. Reason why I put the chart in there is because it's got all the levels I've already drawn out from the VIP Zooms. So I've already drawn out all these levels. So I might as well give you the chart. So then at least you can see all the levels where price could possibly reject. So if we see that news is about to hit and then price is about to come to one of the levels you can see on the Neo, the chart that I've given you from TradingView in the Neo trade, then you can be like, oh, okay, well, we can see clearly there's a monthly support here. So we see why they bought with the news, you know, and try to stop us out. What would you suggest using? Profit we get from the live prop account to fund our personal accounts so we can trade more freely with exactly that. You hit the nail on the head or the hammer with the nail, whichever way you want to say it, whichever way the terminology goes, you got it there, my friend. That's exactly what you want to be doing. You want to basically be using, that's what you're supposed to do, people. You use their money to fund your live account. So now when you've got, and remember, once you've done what I'm telling you here on your prop account X amount of times, yeah, you're going to know how to trade your live account properly now. You're no longer going to be that person. You're literally now a butterfly. You've literally shed that skin and you're a new trader because you're not going to be trading your live account how you used to trade it because you're going to be like, hold on, that was crazy the way I was trading my account. There was no need for that because I know that 1 to 2% at X amount of ratio gets me this amount of money. Do you get it? So that's what starts to happen to you. You're going to realize that. I'm telling you, I'm more and more, now that I'm seeing the amount of capital that you can, and you can trade so much more freely from 1 to 2%. Well, I don't even know why I was trading my live account. I need to go get myself 100 prop accounts. Literally, yeah, it's just the phases that are annoying, but once you get past those, I'm telling you, it's more realistic for you to get past the phases and get huge capital than for you to try and grow a small account to huge capital over the period of time. I'm telling you, because the market will be a pagan, man. The market is a Judas, capital Judas, capital, the top is the final boss on any game. That's what the market is, literally. And I'm telling you, the market will do that to you. So for you to understand that, you need to have so many lives behind you. You know, all these games, you've got lives, you've got 100 lives so you can beat the boss. You need lives. And what is that? Those lives are capital. That's what you need. When you're coming with your $100, you're laughing. That's 2 lifelines you got. The market will finish you with one special move. It will finish you. But if you've got, 600K, no, this opponent's a bit tough now because they're going to keep coming back. And eventually what's going to happen? Goes into your phase, patience and perseverance pays out. You make money or you pass your phases because you have 100 lifelines, 200 lifelines, etc. Telegram is nice because I can't get another game. Yeah, that's why I do it on Telegram basically as well, because I know everybody's got Telegram. Like if I had my Telegram normal group, there'd probably be another 10,000 people in this Discord, but it's just because Telegram doesn't let you separate your segments. That's why I don't have it anymore. So I took it off. Anybody else got any other questions? Any other questions? Yeah, Telegram, it's not even a speaking group. It's just literally, I just put Neo trades in there because that's all I need to do. Just because so everyone has access. What happened is Neo used to be on MT4. You see on the older videos and people used to get an alert on their MT4, but I was like, why are people just leaving their MT4 on just to get an alert to tell them when to buy and sell on a pair? And the thing is, they have to leave their MT4 on. So I said, you know what? I'm going to just put it on Telegram because that way I know everybody can get it, whether they're at work or not. But the main thing here is that you see what I'm doing for you in this Zoom. You start to understand price action better. So when you're in, this is the reason why there's a price tag, what it is on the VIP, because you're not paying just for the neo trades. You're paying for what I'm teaching you. You're paying for the understanding of what the market's going to be doing week on, week off. This is why it's a subscription. It's not a one-off payment, because I'm telling you what the market can be doing week on, week off in detail. You understand? I'm dealing for this is like 4 to 6 hours worth of Zooms a week you're getting. Come on, man, it's nothing. The money that I'm charging for this stuff is nothing. It's nothing compared to how much you can be making within the next year. I'm telling you, it's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. I grow $5 to $57 and $1 to $30. Then I wanted to be greedy and lose. Oh yeah, of course, because you don't have enough lives. I told you the final boss got you. That's what happened there to your money. The final boss got you and took your money. Took your money. That's what happens. If you had $5,000, that wouldn't have happened to you. Especially if you're sticking to your risk. You might, of course, you would have lost money, but you wouldn't have lost all your capital. You'd have been able to come back tomorrow, next week. The more and more you can come back, the better for you. Anybody got any other questions for me? That's what happens. People jump lot sizes. What you're supposed to do when you increase your lot size, you need to make your capital on your account be a certain amount. Then you increase your lot size. You don't increase your lot size with each trade unless you're trying to do like crazy growth. But if you do that, all it takes is one to 2 to 3 bad trades, and then you just blow your whole account. So you need to remember it's probabilities. This is what I'm teaching everybody now. Now I've completely changed my mind frame. I'm not a this trader, swing trader, that trader, this trader. Obviously, so people can identify how I trade. I call it swing trading, but really I'm a probability trader. I trade probabilities, literally. It's either it's going to win or it's not. Sometimes I try and push it. I'm not saying I don't by risking more, but I still keep in my mind that even if it goes bad for me, I'm still like, I'm a probability trader. I don't need to make all my money today. It could be bad today, but it could be absolutely fantastic tomorrow or next week or next month. So why am I rushing? Imagine if you had 1.6K and then you use that 1.6K to go get your prop accounts after. That amount of prop accounts would have lasted you for the year. Even if you were failing, remember, as long as you're profitable by 1 penny on that prop account, you get a free unlimited retries. So you're not even going to be paying $130 or whatever every single time. You gotta remember that. So literally that. Yeah, if you need to understand risk management better, you need to get into the VIP, man. You need to put that investment into yourself. This is why I tell people as well, it's 3 months for you to get in there. You can pay 1 month, but you're not going to learn the world of knowledge in 1 month. You're not going to get the flow. You're not going to understand what I'm talking about, the circle of pips. A lot of people do join for 1 month and stuff like that. And I tell them all the time, I'm like, I don't know what you're doing, man. I don't know what you're doing. I'm not trying to just take 3 months of your money here. I'm trying to tell you that, you can't just come for 1 month and expect to see results. I tell people all the time, I could have a losing month. Then what? You're going to think I'm crap. Everything sucks. The world is against you. No, it's just Forex. You've lost out of your 1,000 lives in your final boss fight. You've lost 100 lives and you're quitting. You exited the game. You said, yeah, I'll come back. Like, you can't do that. I get it if you've got like obviously problems outside of Forex. I completely get it. But if you're letting Forex get to you, it means you're not understanding the concept of probabilities. And probabilities mean not every time when you do your probability trading, you're going to be right. And that's just what it goes for. It just literally is. It's a process. You need months. The only people that I've seen consistently profitable, there's one person I've got specifically now that's been with me for months. And the person, he knows who he is. I've got people even from before that, and this guy's really good as well. But this guy that's been with me for months, he literally came from knowing nothing about Forex, and he's been with me for about 7 months now, probably literally almost a year now. And he is literally becoming a full-time trader. Like, it's only a matter of another maybe 3 to 6 months, and he would definitely be a full-time trader. If he continues on the trajectory I've seen him do in the last 2 months, especially the last month, he'll be a full-time trader in 6 months. It takes time. Like, it's an investment. Like I tell you, people look at it and they expect me to make them money straight away. But come on, what business do you invest into and you start making money in 2 months? Come on, come on. Anything you build from scratch, it's gonna take time, man. It takes time. It's gonna be good days and bad days and random days. And I'm not giving up, bro. That's why. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you just don't give up. You just don't give up. I've got to. Cool, no problem, man. That's cool. Yeah, I'm gonna call it soon as well. So it's not too long because people won't even watch it on YouTube. They'll see me talking and not showing them how to use 2 moving averages to make money in 5 seconds, and they'll be like, what is this, man? They'll turn it off. They'll say, what is this? They won't listen. If they actually sat down and listened to everything I say there, within a month, they would become break even. Within a couple more months, if they pay attention to everything I said there, they'll actually start to become profitable. And if not, they'll at least make enough money to join any of my services and then become profitable. But yeah, they won't watch it because it won't teach them how to make money in 5 seconds. A lot of people. Trading Mondays. You can trade any day. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. The market's going to change its face every single week. Is something I talk about with the students as well. The pattern that occurs every single week in the market. Sometimes it will be perfect setup where Monday will be a trap, Friday will be a trap, and your trade is somewhere in the middle of the week. But then other times it will be that your trade could be set up where your trade is on the Monday or the Tuesday or the Thursday and the Friday. Like it can literally do that. It doesn't matter. It's like the last video I showed another video where I was telling you there's only 2 to 3 trades in a week. However the pattern occurs in that week, it does. You even if you see the chart, just go on a week-to-week basis and see that the pattern that occurs every single week won't look the same. But eventually the pattern that you did see win did appear 6 weeks prior on that pair. But then this is why I say you can trade different pairs, because that pattern might occur in 6 weeks, but then on some of the other pairs, that pattern occurred the next week after that, and then another pair. You get what I'm saying? So you got to figure out what you want to do. This is why I say first and foremost, figure out what you want to trade: accumulation, distribution, or advancing, declining. Once you figure that out, I've already I picked mine. That's advancing, declining. Then you just got to figure out what time frame you want to trade it on. I told you I look for my trades from the daily, weekly, monthly. That's how I catch 400, 500 pip, 1,000 pip trades. And then, yeah, it's how I caught 2,000. Look how I caught gold, 2,500 pips. I tell people, again, people want me to give out gold trades all the time, but they want me to come out of character. I don't scalp gold every day. I just wait for gold to go to a key level for me to catch the swing trade. And the probability of me winning the trade is high. I've done what I did on gold on the last call out. I've done that for almost 2 years now, swing and giving out those trades to everybody. People are not seeing, it's all documented on YouTube. Anyone can go back on my YouTube where it says 2,000 pips caught on gold, 3,000 pips, whatever. I've been doing it. It's not like I just picked it up yesterday. I got lucky with that trade. I've been doing it. And it's only because I'm just patient. I can easily wait. And if I make 3K off of gold, that 3K, I'll use that profit from gold to last me for 3 months on gold. I'm cool with that. I'm not trying to make 100,000 off of gold in that trade. Of course, once I get bigger accounts, yeah, but for now, I'm cool. Everything's a growth, man. Everything's a growth. What's your bit? Okay, I'm gonna go here. So yeah, me personally, I stopped looking at other strategy. I'm trying to get my own. That's what happened to me. My trading excelled when I just stuck to my own strategy, stuck to my own data, and then I traded my strategy. Remember, I'm telling you, Neo is a strategy that's been built up for 3 years. 3 years. I was probably in the first 6 months of me trading, I was looking at everybody for strategies and all that stuff. But then after that, you know what I'm saying? I literally just stuck to my strategy and just kept playing it through, kept looking at the odds. If any, I refined it little by little, but literally it was still the same strategy. I'm trading the same strategy from day one, like literally. The same thing I saw. As soon as I've seen this, I'm like, that's what I'm gonna trade. I just made it better. The thing that made it better and better for me, or easier for me to spot, is I stopped trading it on the lower time frames. I went up to the higher time frames. And then I was like, okay, now it's easier for me. It takes longer for my trade to appear. Yes, I'm not telling people there's trades every day. Like this time, there's only 2 trades this week on Neo. And one of them was at least 1 times it went into profit, and the other one was a loser. So realistically, depending on how you traded, how you cut or started your trade, I told people GBP CAD looks like it's going to be a loser before it went all the way to SL. So let's say you cut your trade. I cut my trade at a point. I said I'm cutting it. If it breaks this level, I'm cutting this trade, because I'm not praying that this trade turns around. I cut my trade, and then GU came through, and then GU made me my money back, literally. What's this? Hey, you have to start somewhere by logic. First video feels like watch. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. And you can see how I changed from that gold scalping. When do you see me doing the gold scalping anymore? I've made more money off of swing trading gold than I've ever made off of that gold scalping. I simplified it for myself. I said, okay, instead of me having to watch the charts every day, do this, do that, how do I simplify it? Go to a higher time frame, look at what gold's doing, and gold really does respect market structure more than all these currency pairs. And yeah, it just does that. It goes to a high, it goes to a low, it buys and it sells. Literally, you might not be right the first time, you might not be right the second time, but guess what? Because it's going to do such a big move. By the time you are right, you'll make all your money back. If you want to swing. If I want to swing the 1 hour, how can I look on higher time frames? Yeah, you got to start looking on your higher time. It doesn't matter. Remember, if you're drawing your levels up from the monthly, whatever, just draw your levels up exactly how I've taught you in the video. Draw your key levels, and then you can swing off of the 1 hour. You'll see when it's at a key level, because it will just, more than anything, it just looks, it does all of this stuff like double tops, double bottoms. I've got a beginner course on that as well. Like, it will do all of that stuff. So even if you're on a 1 hour and you see a double top, then look for the sell. If you see a double bottom, look for the buy. If you see a triple top or triple bottom, same difference. Doesn't matter. The thing with you is that you might get more trades, but then you could occur more losses quicker than I will. Do you get what I'm saying? It doesn't mean it won't work, but you just got to have the psychology to know, you know, I might lose 4 trades in a row within 2 weeks, let's say. As for me, I might lose 4 trades in a row within a month. You get it? So it's just this way it is. So hopefully I answered that question. Yeah, but you still explain. Yeah, definitely. I try to do my best to explain the best I can for everything. But like I say, you can see it. That's why I did the Zoom, because I can speak to you in the Discord. But everything I've said in here, imagine how much information that would have been in the Discord chat. Literally, imagine how much information. So that's why I just said, you know what, let me just do a Zoom. Obviously, I usually do them on Fridays if I have the time to. It's a quiet Friday, bank holiday. I said, let me just do the Zoom. So, you know, literally just that. Anybody got any other questions before we call it a wrap up, so the video isn't too long for people that want to watch it on YouTube or watch it back? Like I said, people are not going to watch the video. Once they see 2 hours, they're going to be like, nope, John, you must be joking. But yeah, if that's the case, anybody that's still in here, if you'd like to get into any of my services and stuff like that, you know how to do that. Just DM me in Discord. Telling you, VIP service will change the way you trade, get your mind in check. Things will be good for you. Within 3 months, you will change the way you trade, man. If you get into the VIP service. And a lot of people, again, another thing a lot of people do is, like, I try and tell people, I'm not trying to tell people how to spend their money, but I'm trying to tell people how to be realistic with their money. If you've got 1.5 to invest into Forex, why not put aside 500 and say, this 500 is going to get me knowledge from mentorship, and then the other 1,000 is to invest into Forex. Too many people will put the whole 1.5 into an account, trade it, and within 3 months, they've lost all that money. Now they haven't learned any extra knowledge, and now they're just upset because they've lost all their money in the market. Then they come back to me after, you know, I get it, people are victim to this, but what happens is they'll come back to me after, and then what happens is they'll want me to do them favors to come into the VIP service after, when I've been screaming for months, post every single day, you see it. I'm like, join the VIP, join the VIP. Stop trying to make either every single penny you've lost off of Forex back now. Learn first. There's a reason why, if you keep losing and you're not seeing no progression, there's a reason why that's happening, basically. And you need to learn a bit more information. That's literally it. Maybe you just need someone to reassure you. It might not even be the information that you need to learn because you're actually good enough. You just probably need reassurance from someone to say, hey, I'm seeing this too. This is how I'm drawing it out, you know, from someone that is giving out trades, and, you know, you have winners and losers, etc. Look, so maybe that's just something you need to do. No problem at all, people. No problem at all. Yeah. So like I said, hit up if you do want to learn how to get into trade gold as well. I've done that in a crash course. So there's one-on-one crash course for people that they're just, you know, they've got the money, they're not playing. Drop the money for the crash course. It's the big course. I'm going to give you all the information I possibly can within that course, and then obviously you'll be in the VIP group as well with Neo Trades. If not, you can just join the VI normal, the cheaper version, which is the Neo group, and the VIP Zooms. And then if you want to learn one-on-one gold, it's per hour. I've said for people, because some people don't even want to do all of that. They might just want 2 to 3 hours worth of me. There's a per hour service as well where you can get this, and it'll be one-on-ones for specific questions. So you could literally say, I've got 10 questions I want to ask John. You know, I'm going to try and get these questions out. Obviously, I'll do my best, but you know, you might have to book 2 or 3 to get 10, 15 questions out, depending on the depth of the questions that you're asking me. So yeah, there's also that. So yeah, guys and girls, I will leave it there. I'll say hello to the Queen for you as well. I'll leave it there. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for the questions and being attentive, and not for me not asking every single second. Is there questions? Are there questions? You guys were asking some good questions. And if you have questions you want me to make a YouTube video on, you can also ask me that as well. So of course I won't be able to do these Zooms every single time. Do you understand? So if you've got any questions on that, then I can make a YouTube video when I got time. I'm trying to post more often on YouTube now. So of course it takes me about 2 to 3 hours to make a video sometimes, depending on the depth of the video, of course. But yeah, you know, and that's with editing, of course. But yeah, I'm trying to post almost every day on YouTube, help with the algorithm and that. So yeah, I'll leave it there, people. Hit me up. All of the information is usually worthy, mate. I can't lie to you. It's hardly ever you're gonna come in here and I'm just chatting rubbish. It's literally gonna be good information. But like I said, it's people got to take their time out. They're gonna see 1.5 to 2 hours on the Zoom and they're gonna be like, oh, I'm not gonna watch it. It's long, John. It's long. Show me what you want in 10 seconds, John. Oh boy. It is what it is. It didn't take me 10 seconds to learn. So how do you expect for me to tell you in 10 seconds? I don't know how that makes sense. All right, then I'll leave it there because I know some people got to go and do other things and get to work and stuff. And obviously it's Friday. It's coming to the nighttime in the UK. So I'm sure people got family and that. So thank you very much for your time and have a good one, people. The video will be out tomorrow as well. You're correct. Whoever said that. Be out tomorrow. And then hopefully I should get another video for Sunday. Thank you. So there's someone. Okay. I'll do the liquidity video. I'll do liquidity. So I'll try and draw liquidities. I'll do that for Sunday, hopefully. All right. See you later, people.